Hello and welcome to another episode of NexCapture 101. In previous episodes, we saw how to create a form, how to put the form into data collection node, and how to use those data collection nodes within a workflow to actually massage data and then reformat it to the way that we won't remove duplicates and do cleaning on the data and validation. Today, I'm going to show you how we can generate analytics and dashboards in NexCapture. And if you recall from previous example, I'm using the same workflow, the same example. We had two nodes that were collecting data about artists. One was targeted for the public audience and one was targeted to the private audience. We merged these two data, we removed the duplicates, and also created a marketing list. So the data that I want to use for my reporting, which is say about gender equality in art, is going to come from my node of all data, no duplication. Because obviously in the marketing list, we have filtered the data to be name and can cut tag, and we don't actually have that gender. But here, when we were doing that merging of the two nodes, we merge all the data, including gender. And in this one, is actually data is prepared and ready for me to use it as the source for some analytics and dashboarding. The way that we're going to create an analytics chart is simply going to configure analytics, and all the nodes that I have in my workflow will be listed there, all the data nodes. So you can see that they're all listed here. The one that I want to use today is all data node duplication. And then NexCapture looks at the data and then says, these are the categories of things that I can see in the data that I can potentially use it in a chart. And in this particular data, I've got categorical data, email and gender. I've got dates, which is their birthday, and I've got numerical data, which is their age. So you can imagine that if I had in my forms initially, I had a GPS location, for example, it would show me location data here as well. If I had more data about, for example, how much people weigh or anything else that you can say, it would actually list it here for me. Depending on what we choose here in this screen, it automatically generates charts for us. So for my use case, it's fairly simple. I just want the gender a categorical data, and I click next, and it says based on what you selected, I can create a pie chart or a bar chart for you. I just say both, and I click Let's Go. We previously used Data Explorer, but we haven't get the chance to use analytics. So if you open analytics dashboard, you see both um, the charts that we just selected will show up there. And from here, you've got these saved, and essentially, if I save my workflow, these analytics will be here. They're going to be live anytime that data gets added or removed, or there's some manipulation on the data. These get automatically updated. But I can also add this to my dashboard. So I can simply go there and then say that pin this one to my dashboard for me. And if I select pin to dashboard, it goes to dashboard. And if I go out and I go to dashboard, you're going to see that the chart is going to be available there. This is also how we use these in our reporting as well. So I can select the chart here on the dashboard and also in my workflow. So you can imagine that you're going to be spending more time as the admin or as a data analyst or someone that from business, you will be spending more time in the workflow. And then essentially, you're going to go there and then say that I want to either add this to dashboard or I want to send it to report. And we'll show you how to generate reports. But the way to add charts and live analytics to the reports is essentially is creating the analytics in the workflow, and then go there and then say send to report, and then it says which report you want to send it to, send and go. And that's going to be the topic of our next next session. Let's just create a more complicated one as well. In another environment, I've got another workflow which is meant to be recording information about packaging. And then let's just imagine that we are sustainability experts. I'm not, but I'm just going to assume that I am. I'm just going to use the data that I have collected from my suppliers. And essentially, these two nodes, packaging supplier and then supplier disposal practices that are coming from suppliers have been merged, and then I'm trying to use them as one node that is selected for analytics, and that's the one that I will be using for my as the source of data for my analytics. So I go to configure analytics and I select that particular node selected for analytics, and it says these are the attributes that I can see in the data that can be used for charts. I would say I want component type, material type, and I want, say, weight and carbon footprint. And then when I select next, it shows me all the different types of charts that it can generate based on my selection. And then you can imagine that each one of these charts have different requirements of what type of attributes they can be used in their creation. And then the system automatically looks at the data and then suggests and recommends these charts. So I'm just going to go and then say that I want a component type versus weight. And component type in my packaging is like, is it inner packaging? Is it outer packaging? And then I want, say, another one that says, let's use this one, component type versus carbon footprint. And then let's just say that how much material type, component type, and weight is this stack bar chart. So let's go. And then I'll go to my analytics. You can see I've got a chart for a component type versus weight, and you can see that you've got the legends here as well, and I've got component type versus kilogram of CO2 equivalent, and I've got my stat bar chart as well, and it gives you a little bit of flexibility to play with it like a real dashboard as well, and you can go there and then say, oh, for example, let's just factor out these two from it and see what happens. Let's just highlight PVC. So I'm just going to remove PET and see what happens. Maybe remove CO2, PVC. And you see that it gives you a little bit of flexibility to work with it as well. Similar to the previous chart, because it's a chart from workflow, I can immediately send it to my dashboard. I can send it to my reports. And, if you don't like it, you can just easily go there and then say that remove chart from my analytics, and you can recreate as many charts as you want in here. And that's how easy it is to essentially generate analytics and dashboards in NexCapture. See you in the next one.